What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Showtime in the Blazing King with King's Critiques, and we're here for Bad Girl. And a little pet peeve of mine I want to go over real quick is the fact that none of these streaming services that are for anime can actually, tell you what you watched last simply. Like, Crunchy does an okay job, but they show 6 shows on your last watch list, and that's it. No arrow to continue going backward to see where you were last at with other shows you watched other than those 6 last things. And High Dive barely keeps track of what you're watching at all, because, I have 2 shows in my continue watching list, that one of which I have not watched in a very long time because, well, they kind of mucked it up and there's censorship attached to it 2 months later, minimum. And, well, the other show I did actually start, so that's fine, but, if I don't watch something for, many months, you should probably just get rid of off my watch list and, put, say, for instance, this show that I'm actually currently watching. Anyway, let's get to the usual caveats now that I'm done with that pet peeve. Secondary caveat would be if you're interested in the show, the topic, or whatever it might be to do with the show or myself, don't forget to drop a comment because that's always encouraged, helpful, and good for my soul, and absolutely free, as is letting things run through. Let me get the watch time, hitting the like button, subscribing, and that kind of stuff. Because again, algorithm, free, good for soul, and just overall a good thing to do, That being said, let's get into it, shall we? Oh, panic, first thing in the morning. See, that's called a smile. And, I understand where you're coming from, that, those are rare, so you're, they're harder to recognize. Because I think I genuinely smile, I said, 4 times, and I know that's a bad habit. I need to get away from it. Very hard. Anyway, I have done it mostly on camera over the last several years, as opposed to any time in my real life. Unless I'm talking about a TV show or something, then maybe a little bit, but I also think maybe mentally I am starting to become one of those people that hides the pain with, a fake smile, because I feel like I force it more often than I should, and that's probably not healthy, but what can you do? Life is miserable. Anywho, I've been trying to, not be as, self-loathing on the videos, but I also, if I don't do it at all, well, that's not being true to myself, and, well, that's not what I'm about. Anywho, she has reason to smile. A cute girl gave her attention, which is a good reason to smile. Lord knows. Oh, and that's the first text that she got from her crush. And it does not look like she's treating it well. The intro of this show, though. Bitch got the hiccups from getting a text message. And no one's gonna, get her out of the hiccup style of things. I don't know about that, but I believe she is correct to an extent. I think if you, hiccup just long enough, it's kind of like if you laugh consistently enough, everything in your body will get all, fucked up because of how frequently it happens. That yes, it could be fatal. I don't think she's wrong about that. It's not going to happen that easily. But I'm sure if it actually became medically concerning, somebody would try to say something. It's not like she's the least important person in school, so if she, dropped and continued to hiccup and couldn't move, nobody would help her. Somebody would help her. She has a best friend, and I can't really make assumptions as to the red-haired girl, because in a way it seems like she's kind of her friend now. In another way, it's obvious that she's also her crush, but how she feel about you, and it's she'd definitely help out if she was, medically having issues. But I don't know how to label it, really. Superstition, huh? Yeah. In some way, I kind of believe it, the laughing thing, like I said. That's why the Joker's laughing gas was always dangerous. Okay, but, that kind of fantasy, you definitely can't get past those Yuri censors. Or in that style of clothing. Which, by the by, that's also the first inkling that gave me an idea towards Miko having a crush on the girl who's unconscious in Necronomicon. Was this exact kind of scene. And the way Cthulhu kissed her in the last episode I uploaded, that's kind of another tell for you. The crazy part is, though, like, for the, style of my body, the way I've handled hiccups was actually pretty athletic, because they say do that. They say stand on your head. Well, I've combined both of those things, on occasion with a sip of water, too. And it usually does work out well. And I know, like, not everybody can as easily stand on their head. Honestly, given the type of person I am, I'm surprised I can, even my old ass age, but it's very, very helpful. Matter of fact, I think I've even done this method on camera. Hey, that is a reasonable... That is reasonable, yeah. Like, you know what? Fuck it. May as well rewind it just to show the causation of this, because, listen, if YouTube can show top boob, they can show side boob. What do you think? Valid crash out? I think valid crash out. That just made her sad. That didn't even make her stop crying. That just made her sad. Like, that just made her sad instead of making her stop hiccuping. And she is probably so concerned by the nosebleed situation. Which, while valid, yeah, understandable too why she'd be concerned. What? Yeah, that's totally it. Totally from the hiccups. Totally not because you just, like, had your own imagination about a situation that, while possible, was totally not what you needed to stop the hiccuping. It literally just gave the medical definition of hiccups. Yeah, you really did. Really? Okay, but I think the only time it's valid to take a screenshot of somebody's text message to you is when you just want to, like, put them on blast for it being absolute bullshit. I've done that plenty of times. But then again, it's usually not going to actually affect anyone else who's a real person, because if I'm taking text. If I'm taking a screenshot of a text message, it's usually because the person on the other end is not a real human. So it's not really, like, as impactful to people as it would be in a situation like this. Granted, this is, like, just a weird thing, but, Meanwhile, in my case, I just take screenshots of the turning point of conversations. When they go from happy-go-lucky, hey, trying to just, like, get to know somebody, that's really cool, to the, by the way, I need money for this reason. That's like, cool. Honestly, that's probably the worst thing about, like, being a single person, is the fact that you get messages like that, and it's just, like, so fucking annoying. Who died 7 times by now? Okay. Why do I get the feeling she's just trying to make her prostrate herself like a dog again? I can kind of see where that's coming. She'll come back with the water in a bowl and pop the dog ears on her again. Meanwhile, she's just, like, questioning what the fuck is going on here. And she's just watching that situation. Honestly, I think she probably has the best point of view right now, but that's just me. And she collapsed before she got back. That actually what she thought she'd say, just to give her that shock factor. Wonder if they'll make her cry again, or if she steeled herself since last time. Yeah, as I thought, she's the kind of person who's into that witch-based. This is not gonna go well, is it? Okay, I understand a crush, but maybe that's a little bit weird. Just kind of listen to it anyway. Yeah, man. And the hiccup started again. Oh, is she actually going to get more spotlight than just that, like, last couple seconds from the last episode? That's true. Like your stream viewer said. Really? Alright. So it's going to be another one of those situations in one of these shows where, like, it's definitely a harem built around one girl. We're not going to see anything worth it except for maybe the last episode. But it's definitely a harem built around one girl. To which is funny, because I did mention at some point that, like, I want to see more harems with a woman as the center of a Yuri harem. And technically, we got that twice this season. not only say technically, because unless I said, unless a bit more interaction takes place, it's just the same amount as like Slime 300 or one of those kind of shows, to where it's cute, it's funny, yeah, but they don't commit. Granted, they're committing to it a lot more in this show, of like some of them having thoughts about her, mostly her having thoughts about the redhead, but not like one now, right, where they're committing, as to say. Like, it's funny how I consider committing in things. In this case, committing to Yuri is as far as, like, actually letting them kiss here and there. So, like, Necronomicon pushed further ahead in the Yuri category than this show has. And granted, this is only episode 3, and that was by episode 6, I think. But, like, Wanare is committing to it. And it's kind of the difference between isekais, you know? In a lot of isekais, they don't commit to the bit. And in a couple of them, they do. Granted, in those couple of isekais, they push too far, you know, like Redo Healer or that Labyrinth one. But in other isekais, they do it the right amount. And I'm going to use the example of the other show I started watching on High Dive. Mostly see if they're still actually uncensoring stuff with plus-sized elf. Where, yeah, it's a show for, like, people with a certain taste, I understand. But they're committing to the bit. You know, if you're going to be ecchi and you're going to do a bunch of potential harem quality stuff, at least commit. Okay, sorry, I went on a little rant there. When she asked to hide from the other one. Also, it's only been 3 episodes. Sorry, I don't remember most of their names. It's just how I do. Pretty sure the redhead starts with an A. That cocky-ass bitch, though, when they first met. However, the gremlin expression, it very much wins me over with characters. Like, I will not lie. Like, I've had gremlin expressions win me over more than anything else in the gacha games I play. Matter of factly, that kind of won me over more for Yuzuha than her actual appearance. Because she's hot. But that gremlin appearance, nah, that won me over more so. She was expecting to want to shake her hand. And meanwhile, it's like, I'm gonna hide behind you now. Definitely looks like she's trying to get a look under her skirt, mind you, but a small, wide-eyed creature. That's still the best description for you so far. Yeah, that's totally it. Not because she doesn't want to, like, leave and then be discovered 2 minutes later. Okay. Excuse. The other one might be right, though. Small and adorable creature with big eyes kind of fits her. I'm not going to give an opinion tag to the rest, mind you, but, like, this is the kind of situation you just want to kind of pat. Give you an autograph. And her, like, I will give the point that, yeah, sure, she's like got a great figure, cute face, all that, but people that talk in the third person are the most unbearable type of people. Like, I really need to stop doing that. Me doing it in my intro is one thing, but referring to yourself in the third person in any other situation is weird. Meanwhile, she's about to be like, well, to be fair, the cutest girl in the world is the one I was actually trying to hide from. Now I understand where she got her obsession. It's the fact that he was denying the, thought process of her being the cutest girl in the world. That, like, I did it again. It's going to start to bug me more every time I realize it. But, that the way that she doesn't think she's the cutest girl, it kind of drives her on more. It's one of those situations. That, the kind of gong reaction that I miss oh so much from Spy Family. When are we getting Spy Family Season 3? I remember them announcing it. When are we getting it? Is it sometime next year? I think it's summer of next year. Eck. I don't want to exist for that long. The world sucks with how it does content things. Meanwhile, her best friend, her actual best friend, is like, what are you doing stalking you? Excuse me if you heard that. Just automatically assuming she's a degenerate, delinquent. Well, yeah, I guess sometimes there's not really a difference. Especially because the first one to think of you in the dog ears and other stuff was her. So, degenerate might actually not be too far either. I'm sorry, is the phrasing our girl? What do you mean by our girl? That is called stalking. Like she said. Just going from admitting you're stalking her to asking her best friend about what she likes. That says volumes. The answer to probably half a dozen of the next questions. Like I just said, the answer to every one of those questions was Mizu. Meanwhile, she just comes up out of nowhere. Wasn't she just walking the other direction? Yeah, no, that makes it. Based opinion, though, by the way. Because, like, this is one of those times I'm not going to get mad about it. If I heard somebody mention Dress Up Darling just out of the corner of my ear, I would be drawn in too. You know this stalker is an insane way to put it. Opinions. How do you pronounce this? Because, like, I've heard it pronounced more often than not Ro. But then I also think of, well, name dropping Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins' kid, Rue. So which is it? Because, like, I've always thought it was the one way, and they say it the other way. And, like, I'm not French, but neither are either of them, so I'm just sitting here like, what is correct? Let me know. Rice son! No! I mean, at least she's being known as something delicious, but, like, damn. You did not hear a single thing she said the other day. Well, at least they're not trying to, like, completely take away for copyright's sake, like Dandadan did, calling it boo-tubing. They just took out 2 letters here, which is significantly less lazy. Okay, well, I can't say less lazy. It's definitely lazier in one aspect, but it's less lazy than, like, naming it something completely different that doesn't make sense. What do you mean by used to it? Meanwhile, just glazing Mizu. Actually, wait, no, that's something she wants to do later. The number of times I've seen a similar picture referring to an anime character is crazy. Granted, usually those anime characters are like actual goddesses, like, I don't know, Madoka or Usagi, but I feel like her best friend's just dragged into this picture for the sake of the joke. But also, she is having a tantrum right now. In general, sure. You're still not beating out Mizu and Yu's mind, but in general, sure. Great design. And you really can't ask her because she's in love with you as well. Not you, but you. I mean, that's something? Kind of a positive, right? I don't know how I'd feel at that comment, but hey. And the 4th one shows up, just completely ignoring the girl on the ground. Oh, she remembers her. And now that she's asking you, you's probably going like, huh? Oh, right, yeah, she's the cutest, yeah, totally. Just anything to please her. Like I said, very quick turnaround, I guess. Oh no. She got so emotionally broken, she started to ask random people in the middle of the night. Which, listen, one of those shows that actually knows how to draw side characters. That seems kind of gremlin-like. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, wait. Who's going to be the one that's mid-air in this cutscene? I'm going with Mizu. Oh, no. Best friends go together. And Suzuka looks pleased. You chill. The only bad you are is down bad. I appreciate that they continued the joke from the last part of the episode to where the fucking gods are just like randomly included in the audience. God damn it, you. I feel like that's a bit excessive for superstitions. Huh. I'm just probably looking around just to see where Senpai is, just like, but I wanted to go with Sag. It's crazy that this is her thought process. Like, did it again. I think I've mentioned before, how can people think that they're, invisible of any kind when full transparency, being super attractive, energetic, and good qualities? Like, someone can be invisible and they're like, I get it again. The nerdy kid in class, the kid that, like, if you don't talk to them and, like, support them, you know that some issues might arise, and, well, I'm not going to get into the whole soapbox of that's why you talk to the quiet kid, because then they're not going to turn to the type of person that comes back a week later after being absent for a couple days and tragedy. This isn't the type of thing I'm going to talk to that about. What I will say is, if somebody has many qualities of being worth the kind of person to talk to, unlikely they've been invisible as long as she thinks she has. Like, that's usually better suited for people that have no personality and are very unattractive. Which, again, can end up dangerous, but that's another topic. This topic is the fact that she has all the qualities of someone who's likable, and she just is oblivious. Also, I hate to point things out and just immediately flip the switch from having a good point to being weird, but this is totally the type of screenshot you'd see going into certain other type of animated content. Maybe not, like, fully in that area, but am I wrong? Like, you've totally seen thumbnails like this in H-related content here and there. Again, certain areas are different, but I think I still hold a good point. I feel like openly telling people that is definitely the way to drive people away, because that seems insane. Well, mission worked to creep them out. They dropped their cleaning supplies, but she's kidding, right? In one way, maybe, like, stealing the spotlight from everybody is considered a bad thing. It's also by doing something good. So your intentions are, what's the word, insane? Hey, yo, what do you mean by that? Hold up. Like, type of magazine it is, and she's thinking something her best friend would want. At least she's admitting things about her best friend more than she does. Oh. Did this bitch take off and take a nap? Because it doesn't look like she's in distress. Did she literally stray from the group to take a nap? Yeah, that's a based opinion. Oh, maybe she was in distress. Or maybe she did take a nap after that went down. Yep, she decided to take a nap. What did I say? And she looked so fucking pleased with herself, too. Where is that even plugged in? Like, the trash can's in the middle of, a wooded area, I kind of understand. That actually makes some form of sense. Where the fuck is the vending machine plugged in? Like, where is the vending machine plugged in? Anybody? Everything in the show, that's the one thing I'm questioning mostly right now, is where is it even plugged in? I will say, the insane way they exchange conversations sometimes, from her saying something crazy and Mizu just completely accepting its insanity and just disregarding its intention. I will cryogenically freeze this juice box. No, please drink it. And now she's gonna fuck with her a little bit. Of course she's fucking with her. Also, I don't think I've ever heard of a school where that's a thing. Mostly because, as crazy as schools are, they also are very well about, like, health consciousness in the regard of people needing certain things at certain periods of time to, like, stay healthy. Because while a lot of things have gone up over the years for that kind of stuff, it definitely is a thing. Excuse. Like, at the very least, of people needing, like, a sugar intake because they have, like, some form of hate. Diabetes? Yeah, I think that, no, not diabetes, low blood sugar. Not high blood sugar, that's diabetes. Low blood sugar, which is the opposite. I know there is a medical term for it, I just am forgetting it. Regardless, someone's needing to eat a fucking Baby Ruth or something because they've got low blood sugar every, like, hour or two. And me, if I don't get food in my system in a certain proximity of time from the last time I did, I start to get very ill. This was not a thing when I was in school, but if it was, I'm pretty sure my school would have allowed me to, like, eat a couple crackers or something every so often as needed. Because when I tell you I have a fucking huge spasm of, like, sneezing and coughing when I'm hungry enough, medically doesn't make any lick of sense to me, but it is a thing and I don't know what the fuck it's about. So I can't go too long without eating. Much as I hate having to eat more often than a human probably should. Also, does she have the dog ears on her? Is she about to make some, like, statement to try and get her in those? Like, well, I can totally let slide if you put these on. Oh. I thought she was gonna fuck with her for. You wasn't gonna tell anyone about that anyway. So, like, if that's your exchange. You even laughed at her. Honestly, I'm more so surprised about that. But she's probably also going to say the whole, I wasn't going to tell anybody in the first place, so sure? Like I said, just, she genuinely finds it funny. I've seen what you think about, so that is probably actually a factual statement, but we'll let it slide. Hey, yo, what's that supposed to mean? I feel like both of you are pretty thirsty. Oh, there's about to be the freak out moment for, like... I genuinely forgot the term. What the fuck is the term that people use that's like a kiss but not a kiss? They'll probably mention it because that's probably where this is going. I kind of knew that's exactly where that kind of thing was going. And now you passed out. And that's the episode. Okay, but what did she expect from that situation? Let me just take a sip of your juice box right quick. And use out. What did she expect from that? Pretty sure she is well aware you has some form of crush on her by this point. Or maybe not. Maybe she just likes fucking with her for the sake of fucking with her. Okay, I will say though, like, the art style they do for this is really good for the outro. It kind of reminds me of a Love Live feel, you know? Are we getting after credits bit? How does she look scarier than normal? She just looks like she's walking. Okay, even more to the point of how does it she look scarier than normal. That is like the most girl-coded umbrella I've ever seen. Of course her mother got it for her. Oh, big sister. Damn. I feel like I just did the opposite of the kind of compliment people usually give to familial characters in anime. I called her the mother. She's actually the big sister. I just did the reverse of what people kind of do. Actually, matter of factly, Wanare was an example of that. You know, Renako calling Satsuki's mother, her big sister. And to be fair, that's kind of a fair compliment because Tsubaki's mother is, or Satsuki's mother is kind of milk material. Also, just pointing out real quick, that's another name that would have been confused in my brain had I thought of it as Tsukasa. You know, Satsuki, Tsubaki, Tsukasa. These are all things that have the TSU thing, and it's... I don't think you're going to automatically go to the next one. Hey, yo, that last part of the episode sounds kind of sauce. Guess I'll just end off the bit. Holy shit. Okay, I guess I wasn't recording nearly as long as I thought. I thought it was already over an hour, but apparently it's just now getting to an hour. Also, for the record, I will say again, this is probably a thing y'all have noticed the whole time, and I didn't notice because I thought it was already, like, pattered down. This is as bad as an ahogi, but it doesn't, like, give a sense of cute. Unless it does and I'm wrong, but, like, this doesn't give a sense of cute, so... Whatever. It's just a terrible quality for me to have, as with many other things. This stupid plumage pisses me off. Anywho, let's get to the point of the wrap-up of the episode of... No matter how hard you try, she is not going to be the bad girl she wishes to be. She is only down bad, as I said earlier. And this Rue girl, well... Oh, actually, maybe that actually answers my question earlier about the ROUX name, is if, like, you mistook her name to be Rue, and she called her Rue Curry, maybe that's the style of it was supposed to be said as. I'll go with that. It's kind of funny, though, that in all ways, they'll have some fascination for you. Like, Suzuka, her best friend, so clearly she has, you know, some interest in her, even if just in the best friend quality, as one would expect. But, to be fair, we've seen a couple of instances, like the time... Yeah. Like the time Shizu brought up the dog ears to where she imagined you herself in that certain way. Towards the ears and not really much else going on. Like, you was the first one to think of that, and Shizu came after. Double entendres. And if Rue had any sense of... You know, that whole conversation, she very might have had that kind of thought, too. So, it's going to be interesting to see the girls getting together over the course of the rest of the season, and, I don't know, maybe my conversation earlier about committing to the bit of what you're trying to do for a show, maybe they will bring up at some point later on in the season, if not by the end. I could hope. Because, like, shows like this, I said... They need to commit more. The isekais don't really commit as much as they could. More of them definitely need to without full sending in that direction. But they definitely could do more, honestly. I don't really have a lot more to talk about other than the... It's just a fun show. It is another fun comedy, Yuri, even if it's just Yuri bait style show, and... Well, I would like for them to full send into it more. If they don't, that's just how it do. Anywho, if you're interested in the show or have any comments to make about the show or whatever it might be, don't forget to drop a comment. Because it's always good to help see what people are thinking about stuff, whether it's the show, me, or whatever. Or good to see people conversing with one another. That's always encouraged as well. And yeah, that being said, also let me know about any other shows, movies, etc. you should check out this season next and or in general. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the Gaming channel in the description. Ring both bells like Facebook, follow Twitter, and Blue Sky. Keep updated with things. TikTok, Patreon. Get the full and visual and audio of the stuff I upload over here eventually. Oh, hey, it's the first of the month by the time I'm recording this. Maybe Patreon will have given me back some of my fucking upload space so I can upload some of the stuff I backed up over the course of the last, month or two. I can hope. Go follow on Twitch, subscribe for benefits, conditions of Twitch Prime for free. Monetarily, though, if you're gonna, help me up somewhere and subscribe somewhere, Patreon's probably the better option in case they haven't given me back the storage space. Because, I'd like to get rid of some of those files I have backed up, Smile. All that being said, check out the video playlist here. Let run through conversations with stuff within whatever. Check out the video recommended to you by YouTube here, or there's a bigger version if you're watching the smaller video. Until next time, been the Blazer King with King's Critique. Out, ta for now. Peace.